Welcome to Envirovation. I'm Brian Janonis. I'm Director of Utilities, Fort Collins Utilities. This is a ClimateWise showcase. We're here to celebrate the business partners of ClimateWise and their accomplishments. We're happy today to have Mayor Doug Hutchinson with us, and he will kick off the event by saying a few words. He will be followed by a keynote presentation given by Mr. Sonny Lubick, former Colorado State University football coach and Vice President of Community Outreach for Public Service Credit Union. Public Service Credit Union has been a ClimateWise partner since 2008. And then our city manager, my boss, Darren Atterbury, will come to the stage and recognize our ClimateWise partners. We have changed the format to recognize all partners in groups. The platinum level partners will be recognized on stage as a group in recognition of your efforts. The city manager will ask you to join him on the stage, and we'll have pictures taken. The gold, silver, and bronze level partners, and the new 2010 partners, and the advisory committees will also be recognized as groups. Please join us at the front of the room for photos with the mayor and city manager. We will call your group toward the end of the presentation. We will also be giving away a gift certificate for a one-night stay here at the Hilton in Fort Collins. The Hilton is one of our newest ClimateWise partners. Please join me in thanking the Hilton for today's event. Today's event would not be possible without the support of our sponsors. Please join me in thanking all the sponsors and their generosities. Now, please join me in welcoming Mayor Doug Hutchinson.
Good afternoon. What a great crowd. Thank you for letting me be a small part of today's Envirovation. This is the sixth time that I've been lucky enough to be a part of the program and join you in celebrating your accomplishments. This is going to be my last time. I'm term limited out, and Tuesday night I will ride slowly off into the sunset. And I've been asked, to my knowledge, there is no provision for a recycling program for mayors. So I can remember when the ClimateWise program was made up of just a small handful of business partners. And today we have 250 local businesses who have voluntarily taken on the challenge of reducing greenhouse gases and saving money. This program has grown into a nationally recognized model, a model that others are looking to replicate. I believe this is because ClimateWise has found the magic formula. First, it's voluntary and not regulatory. It is balanced in its approach. That is, projects are designed to lessen environmental impacts and save money. It's good balance. And it's a grassroots program. Its success is purely the result of participating businesses who have committed to the environment, to the local economy, and to our community. Because of ClimateWise and the way many other community initiatives are currently taking place, Fort Collins, Colorado is quickly turning into and earning a national reputation for green business. Industries including renewable energy, water innovation, and others are thriving in Fort Collins. We have some very robust clusters for clean energy and a new one for water that are having a big impact. Our renewed commitment to sustainability has us well positioned for the future. And future economic development will rely heavily on these green technologies and on green business operations across all industries. And that's why we're here today, to honor those businesses that are demonstrating the success of green businesses in Fort Collins. Since its humble beginning in 2000, ClimateWise partners have saved nearly 6 billion gallons of water. You could fill City Park pool 30,000 times to get that much water. We've diverted 170,000 tons of waste, and that's the equivalent weight of some 12,000 transport buses. And we've saved nearly $39 million, a great balance in a program, and I think the underpinning of its great success. These numbers are truly impressive. I want to thank you all for your efforts in getting there. Please give yourselves a round of applause. I now have the distinct honor of introducing today's keynote speaker, Sonny Lubick. Sonny is a Fort Collins icon. He's known for his strong community involvement and for his leadership of Colorado State University football program for 15 seasons. His successful head coaching career at Colorado State included 6 conference championships and 9 bowl appearances. He and his family give back to the community in many ways, but their heart and soul are poured into Ram Strength, a local foundation providing financial assistance to cancer patients. Sonny and his wife, Carol Jo, have 3 children and 3 grandchildren, and he's been known to leave a golf game early because he was on babysitting duty. After 37 years as a college football coach, Sonny has embraced the relatively leisurely lifestyle of working both for Colorado State University College of Business and for Public Service Credit Union, both of which are ClimateWise partners. Please join me in welcoming Public Service Credit Union's Vice President of Community Outreach, Sonny Lubick.
I have to thank Doug for that nice introduction. I hate it when the introduction is better than the speech, and that's a tough one. But I did have an introduction. I think it was last week. I was speaking at the College of Business to one of the honorary groups there. And the young lady introduced several speakers, and I came up, and she had a sheet of paper there, and it says here, our next speaker needs no introduction. I hope that's true because I don't know who he is. And so that's the way I keep you humble. Then as I was walking in the door, one of the young ladies I was walking in with said, Coach, I see you around. I always want to talk to you and let you know that I think you're the second best coach in this whole country. And I said, thank you. I am so pleased. That's an honor for me to be to be like that. I said, by the way, I want to know who's first. She said the other 98 are tied, so you're last. So that's it. Yeah, that didn't go over very well. But they told me I can only speak for a little bit. And you know, coaches, we keep on going. And last time I did this, the person in the back of the room was going like that. I thought that meant speak faster. And so I just kept on going. And I'm sure that most of you out there are wondering what a football coach, former football coach, as Doug said, 30, I didn't realize it was that long. No wonder I'm not coaching anymore. 37 years. Actually, I've been teaching and coaching for 48 years. And you wonder what a coach has in common with ClimateWise and with you people, but I could see just being here the short time about that camaraderie, the teamwork, and think about, you know, what ClimateWise, what it's done. I tell you, I have to be honest with you, when did this start? Right about the end of my career in 2003, 2004, and I saw all these signs around town, go green. I thought they were talking about Colorado State, about me, go the football team. So that's it. But I've been thinking of ways myself how to talk, and if there's anything that I could say that would be intelligent, and the only thing I can go back to is my experience, as I said, of 48 years as a football coach and a teacher, et cetera, and that's all I can draw my experiences on. And I radio, somebody said, what else can you do? And I said, I'm not qualified to do anything else. But the subject, the only subject through which I could help out is, and recognize here, as I just said a second ago, is that ClimateWise, there's a lot of coaching going on here, bringing the people together, putting people together, doing things. And people ask me, and I'm sure you all, what is coaching? And talked about this all my life. Coaching is education, teaching. That's all it is. It's motivating. It's getting the best out of your players, out of your partners, and I'm sure that's what everybody's doing here. We're trying to get the best out of people. I know that Doug and Darren here for years bringing this city together. And what do we all want? We want to make it the best, and that's what coaching is. And all of us in this room, every parent in here is a coach, a mentor. You've done things. You've helped your children. You got the best. You want them to be the best. What is? It's building a cohesive, every team, every good community. What does it have? It has cohesiveness. It has high morale. And, that's why I look back at Colorado State, and I looked at, and we had some success there, and I kind of wondered why myself. I was actually surprised. I always pinch myself, man, we can't be winning this many games. But as I looked back and had time after leaving CSU to reflect back, we had something special there, which the same thing you people have, even more so. You have a spirit, an esprit de corps, a high morale, or you wouldn't, that you wouldn't have a crowd like this. You wouldn't be here. And maybe I know some of you are here to have a beer, but that's good too. There's nothing. I always like that. When we would see our players, like I'm sure ClimateWise sees its players, its partners, is we would see our players for what they can be, not for what they are. And when we recruit a player, I see all conference player there. I see someone who's going to go make us great, make our team better. And I'm sure that's what everything that we saw in our team and ClimateWise we see here the hopes, the dreams, and a chance to achieve. And as Doug said here, we're nationally ranked, and we are going to be the best. That's what we're all in here for. How good can we be and be the best? And ClimateWise is coaching, motivating, and building Fort Collins businesses to combine money-saving practices with environmental protection. The best teams that I've ever had, that I've ever coached, I got this from Tom Osborne, was he here, and the best team that you'll have here is the teams where the players, the partners, put the needs of everyone else before their own. That's hard to do. That's hard to do. Put the needs of everyone else before your own. The last football team I coached at Colorado State, we won 3 games and we lost 9. It was the best, well, I say the best group, I won't say it's the best, but it's as good a group of players I've ever had, because we had many things that went wrong during the season. As most of you remember, I know our football fans in here, we went up to CU and we lost a game in overtime when Caleb threw a pick in the end zone towards the end of the game. I can remember all those things. Then we came back and played the University of California Golden Bears here in Fort Collins. They were ranked 6th or 7th in the country. We lost that game by 6 points. Team played great, and you think facing adversity, which you guys are going to face as you go through this, and you have faced it, and it's easy to quit and give up. Then we go down to Houston, have a couple real serious injuries right there the day of the game, and we lose. They came from behind and beat us. But the point is, we went through that season. Those kids never wavered. They never faltered. They stayed the course. They were great. And one of the greatest honors I've ever received is the last game of the season when we beat the University of Wyoming here, is that our captains got up and handed, and these would you talk about achievements, handed me the game ball for staying consistent, being consistent through all. It's easy to give up. It's easy to quit. It's easy to blame and point fingers, but those kids never did that. The coaches never did that, and that's one thing I'll remember. And you say about your team out here, talent, as I learned a long time ago, talent and sheer ambition doesn't always translate into long-term success. Talent, as one of the great philosophers said, talent is like table salt. It's all over the place. It's what do we do? It's what else? And it's that spirit. And what I always call it's that attitude. A little note, little sign that I stole from somebody says, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. And that's what makes Fort Collins different. That's what makes ClimateWise. It's a little thing that makes a big difference. I always talk about went to our coaches when they went out looking at people. Is he coachable? We're recruiting this guy. He's got all the talent in the world. I said, I don't care about that. Is he coachable? How can you find out? Go find out something extra. Is he coaching? Is he coachable? Does he want to be coached? And it's the same thing here, whether it's in the fundamentals or the best techniques in the world, whether it's football or green business practices, we want players who care. You want people who care. You want people who are going to give the little extra about themselves. talk about communication is the key to success. I'm going through, I want to get a couple points across here. And climate-wise, you've done a fabulous job, just like all of us in coaching. It's teaching through their talk and tour programs. And that's all we go. It's repetition. It's going over and over. It's doing things and feeling good about it, no matter what level. I used to talk, the guys who are most important on our football team and our success are walk-ons. Shows you how much we know about recruiting. We have more walk-ons playing in the NFL than we do guys who we've spent $100,000 recruiting because they had one thing. They had something here that you couldn't measure, that heart and desire. John Howe played in the Super Bowl. I can't run them all off now, but we had 6 or 7 players that came as walk-ons. They were the lowliest people. That's what you got here. Everybody counts. You're only as good as your weakest link. That's an old axiom that we always say. Remember, it's not how good are we, it's how good can we be. How good can we be? So don't start thinking you're good. Whenever we start getting good and winning a couple of games, that's when I got worried the most. Coaches and climate-wise, coaches have to motivate, inspire their people, get the best out of them. Vince Lombardi, you know him, the great famous former coach of the Green Bay Packers, said, what do you think about this? 32 NFL football teams. Every team out there, every team in the NFL, have about the same resources, the same amount of money, the same types of stadiums. Their coaches, they all know the same. They all have the expertise. All of their coaches, they're all the same. Why does one win and the other lose? Why are one team's winning? Because it's about what they do. As Vince Lombardi says, X and O coaches, people who can draw it all on the board, or dime a dozen. Give me the coach who gets the most out of his people. Get the most out of your people, and that's what your coaches here are doing. And as Marv Levy says, I always told our team, winning is simple, but it ain't easy. It takes, you do the little things, do the things right. And by that, working hard, sacrifice, commit ourselves. There are no shortcuts. Everybody wants a shortcut. Throw the long bomb, score a touchdown. Climate-wise, just put up a sign and we're all going to be good to go. Put up a sign and we'll talk about it. Everything's good. There are no shortcuts. The long road is the best shortcut. And that's the road to the goal line. The road's what you guys want, and that's what it is. Do the little things. And I always ask my team this, would you rather be magnificent or ordinary? They all raise their hand, they want to be magnificent. I say you got to do the little extra. You got to come a little early, and you got to stay a little bit late. You got to do just a little bit extra. Being a climate-wise partner since 2008 has motivated Colorado Public Service Credit Union to promote bicycling, commuting, carpooling, increased recycling, old energy efficient lighting, and incorporate paperless loan recording. And when I say this to all you people, when Fort Collins gets better, when it gets better, and climate-wise gets better, we all get better. I tell our team, when the sea rises, all the boats rise. We all better. We all gain from it. And my last thing here as I go here, I hope I'm not running over time. Quote, I love this one. Just think if we could live by this. I tell our team this. I've been beating it in them. The 2 signs I had on my board for 15 years. Attitude. What I talked about is a little thing that makes a big difference. In fact, we took that on every trip for 15 years, and at home games, that we would take that sign down and we'd tape it on the door, and they'd hit that on the way out to the game every day. Right now, you know where it is? It's in the steakhouse. I got the cooks and the people hitting it on the way out, and the waitresses. So if any of them got a bad attitude, let me know about it. But everyone knows that organizations, armies, sports teams, and companies perform best when team members, that's all you guys, when team members respect, value, and trust one another. When we do, that's all we want. Somebody told me that money isn't even important in our jobs. That's the newest, not the newest, it's been going on for 60 years of people studying. These behavioral scientists say of people, what do they want in their job? They want to be trusted, they want to be valued, and they want to be respected. More so than any paycheck, more so than any benefits. And we think about that's true. It said, and I'll finish that off. Trust one another and sacrifice our own narrow self-interest to support the team goals and their colleagues' success. How many of us try to support the team goals? We're in this for the team. It's the team becomes before everything, and put our partner's success before our own. Individuals perform best when they are respected, valued, and trusted by someone who genuinely cares for their well-being. And that's what we had going. I know that at Colorado State, because it wasn't the highest pay and it wasn't all these things, but we had coaches that stayed there and loved working there because the environment was good. The players, we had walk-ons, players who get nothing that would come out for 5 consecutive years and be there and get pushed around and be had everything, but they knew at the end of the day it was going to be worth something. They were doing something worthwhile, like you people are doing there. And I know one of my techniques was always, because I always worried if the walk-ons would quit. You worried about that every day. I'd make sure walking off the practice field, I'd grab at least 1 or 2 of them, put my arm around them, and let them know how valuable they are to the team. Because every one of you, no matter where you are on the stratosphere, are valuable. And at the ending, they don't care how much you know. My players, they don't care how much you know. They didn't care. They could see through you if you're a phony in 10 seconds. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's the same thing. I hope that climate-wise permeates that feeling. And getting down here, I say this, we're all coaches. We all want to get what's best for everybody else. The mediocre coach tells, the good coach explains, the superior coach demonstrates, the great coach inspires. And so good luck to you, and thanks for having me, and have a good time, and nobody threw a full beer at me. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Darren Atterbury, our city manager.
Okay, hi everyone, and thank you. This is an incredible turnout. Let me just start by saying, for city staff who are here, never, ever, ever, ever put me after Sonny Lubick. Please, never, ever do that. I remember, Sonny, specifically, Deb and I were at an event where you spoke, and I think Doug and Kathy were there as well, and I remember saying to Deb, whispering, don't ever, ever, ever let me speak after Sonny Lubick. That guy's, you know what, he's a class act, and he has lots of stories, and he loves Fort Collins, and I love that about you, Sonny, and I so much appreciate what you've done for this community, and we're all reaping the benefits of your work over those many decades that you've been here. I also want to say something about Mayor Hutchinson. Doug and I have been attached at the hip for the last 6 years, and he mentioned that, you know, election night was this past Tuesday night. I think we have a great mayor and Karen Wykenot coming on board, and I'm looking forward to that relationship with the new council. But I will tell you that the relationship that Doug and I have is very, very special. As I mentioned, we've worked together for 6 years. He too is a class act. He loves this place. He was practically born here, and certainly was raised here and traveled all over the world and chose to come back here and give back. And this is the last time that he and I get to speak on the same platform together in these roles. And I would really appreciate if you would just say thank you to Doug Hutchinson for his 6 years worth of work in this town. So I've offered to pay Doug's cell phone bill for the next year, so that way he'll pick up my call when I call him. So it's really neat to be here, part of this program, and I can't tell you how appreciative I am to see all of you in this room, and lots of people that I know and really just value the work that you do, and you giving back to Fort Collins, and also a lot of folks that I don't know. But I do want to say, as Sonny, this is pretty incredible. I get to get out at a lot of cities around the country, and I get to talk to a lot of city managers and elected officials, and this is a very, very unique, very special event. And the turnout is just, I can't tell you how fun it is to be up here and to celebrate with you. You know, the purpose really here is, there's one primary purpose, and that's to say thank you for the partnership and the work that you're doing on behalf of this community. We talk very, very deliberately about world class. And lots of people ask me, well, what does world class mean? And for me, it's not a city, a particular city. For me, it's just the attitude that we bring to our community. And the really cool thing is I've been here 15 years, and I've been the city manager for about 7 years. And whether I'm talking to Mayor Hutchinson or Coach Lubick or my next door neighbor or one of my children's teachers or someone on the trail, no one ever says, don't think big for this community. And I don't mean population number, I mean the quality. When we talk about world class, no one says, well, shame on you, that's too big to think about for this town. No one says that. Actually, everyone that I talk to, everyone, I've yet to have a person say, stop that. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty unique. And and you all have played a huge role in that. Whether your coworkers at your companies contributing economically to this community, whether you're partnering in so many different ways, and clearly your partnership in climate-wise means a lot to us. So let me just real quickly. Oh, also I wanted to say, as the mayor said, you know, Fort Collins is seen as a leader in green businesses. I mean, we are. We know that in our gut. We hear that as we go around the country and we go around this town, and the data shows it. So if just because you're wired that way, you may say this is a green community. But I can tell you the data will show that. The data will demonstrate it. So it's not trust us. There's something very unique about this community, and we ought to be really celebrate that. I think it's what smart cities do. So let me add a couple of data points here. Climate-wise partners, you far exceeded the greenhouse gas reduction goal 2 years early. Partners saved 136,000 metric tons of CO2 in 2010. You increased the quality and effectiveness of ongoing projects, and you saved more than $13 million in 2010 alone. The mayor talked about the life of Climate-Wise, but in 2010 alone, you saved over $13 million. The program has also become a breeding ground for innovation. And we tend to believe at the City of Fort Collins that you know, there are people that have good ideas, and we go out and build those good ideas. But when you take a good idea and you incubate it and you grow it and you have people sort of dialoguing around it, it gets that much better. I mean, some of you are probably like me. When I got out of graduate school, I thought I had all the best ideas. Let's go implement all my ideas and everything will be great. What I've learned over the last 20 plus years in being in these roles is that these ideas get so much better. They get so much better if people around with diverse thinking are adding into that and incubating those ideas. And so again, this is sort of an example, definitely an example of that. As a highlight in 2010, program staff and partners worked together to transform the Climate-Wise Advisory Committee to better serve our participants. So the new structure now has 4 subcommittees. To increase focus on mentoring, on recruitment, outreach, program structure, and corporate social responsibility. Those are all obviously very well intentioned and very important. Let me also, before I go into the recognition piece of this, recognizing specific superstar businesses, I want to say that I know Kathy is here somewhere. Kathy's here. Let me just say, just real quickly, something about our Climate-Wise staff. And I like to think these words that I'm going to use describe our entire workforce of about 1,600 to 2,000 employees that love this community at the City of Fort Collins and work very hard to deliver the services that you all benefit from. But I want to just say, Kathy and her staff at ClimateWise, you know, most of you know them. You know that they're hardworking. You know that they're very passionate. You know that they're very competent. They're committed to the success of the program. I think the most important thing is when you talk with them, which I get to do every once in a while, the commitment that they have to each of you and your businesses is unparalleled. And I just want to say to Kathy, you and your entire team who are here, thank you very much for the work that you've done. We appreciate it. So we have, as the mayor mentioned, we're going to change, I think it was the mayor or Brian, we're going to change up the structure a little bit here. And I want to just recognize, just ask a few folks to stand up, and then I'm going to read off a number of companies who are actually platinum recipients or companies here. And then as I read off your names, if you wouldn't mind coming up, and we're going to ultimately take a picture, and Brian will introduce all those things in just a minute. But let me just say that we had, in 2010, we had one bronze partner level, or one bronze level partner, 98 silver level partners. So what I'd like to do, I would love to recognize you all by name. We don't have time to do that. So if you are a bronze or silver level partner, would you please just stand up so we can recognize you and tell you thank you? Thank you. Thank you all very much. Next, I'd like to recognize the gold partners. This year, there were 30 organizations who achieved gold level. That's an increase from 88% from our 16 gold level partners back in 2009. So gold level partners have served on the ClimateWise Advisory Committee. They've mentored new partners. They've completed a greenhouse gas baseline analysis, and they've set a reduction goal for their business operations. So gold partners, would you please stand so we can say thank you for your terrific contributions? So finally, I'd like to recognize 23 platinum partners. In 2009, we had 19 platinum partners. These businesses are setting the standard for environmental stewardship. If you're setting the standard in Fort Collins, Colorado, I promise you, you're setting the standard across the globe. They have completed a rigorous set of behaviors and activities to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. They've engaged employees in their reduction efforts. So what I'd like to do is, when I read your name off, if you would stand and also walk towards the stage, the mayor would like to congratulate you, and then I think we'd like to take some photos as well. And then once I'm done, I'll turn it back over to our Utilities Executive Director, Brian Janonis. Let me also say, earlier, Brian started off kind of quiet, and it's always tough to get this crowd sort of together and quiet and attentive. We know that, right, ClimateWise staff? It's always a challenge. If you didn't get a chance to hear who the guy that was standing up here before Mayor Hutchinson, it's Brian Janonis, our Utilities Executive Director. He oversees water, wastewater, electric, and stormwater. I see lots of utility directors around the country. This guy, we are so lucky to have him. He is a rock star as utility executive directors go. So, Brian, I appreciate it. Okay, so first I'd like to recognize Anheuser-Busch Inc. Anheuser-Busch is here, I know. Avago Technologies, BHA Design, Brinkman Partners, Cafe Ardor, City of Fort Collins, Clean Air Lawn Care, Colorado State University, Dresser Rand Ingenuity, Enviro-Friendly Lawn Care, Gallegos Sanitation, Hewlett-Packard Company, Intel Corporation, Intel, New Belgium Brewing, okay, Newmark Merrill Mountain States, Platte River Power Authority, the Poudre School District, Airbnb Architects, Rio Grande Mexican Restaurant, the Neenan Company, Trebuchet Group, Trees, Water, and People, and Woodward, formerly known as Woodward Governor. Woodward. Let's say one more big thank you to these folks.